What did you think you were really good at until you saw someone who was actually really good at it? Table tennis. We had a table at work, and so I started playing anytime I could, with whoever I could. I'd played a little when I was a kid, so picked it back up quickly and started getting half decent. Eventually, I started playing with one co-worker fairly regularly. He was good, no doubt. At first he was clearly just volleying with me, not actually putting it away when he'd get the chance. This made it more fun for me to be sure, and offered me great practice. Anyway, after about a year, I'd gotten to the point where I could cream everybody I'd play with ease, except him, and our games had elevated drastically, to the point of all out smashing the ball back and forth standing 10 feet away from the table, and I actually started winning some games every now and then. I was ecstatic. Well, one day, after losing a pretty heated game to me, and me being just a little bit pompous about it, my table tennis buddy co-worker pulls a total Inigo Montoya on me, flips the paddle from his left hand, which he 100% consistently used when playing against me, into his right and says to me, "You know I'm right-handed, right?" I did not, nor did I ever win another game against him. The part that I love about this is that he started out playing against you with his left hand, one day waiting for that "I'm not left-handed" payoff, and he must have felt so good delivering that line. I began piano lessons at an early age, 5, and my parents and my teacher made me believe I was some kind of fabulous child prodigy. I later found out I was merely a worm compared to real pianists, but I did enjoy playing the piano, so there's that. There's a ton of studies which dictate that praising your kids' hard work, praising your kids' skills, keeps them practicing and doesn't make them believe they are somehow way better than others due to some innate ability, etc. or something. Okay, bye. At one point I thought I was pretty savvy in Excel since I was the best at it out of the people I knew. Well, then I meet someone who really knew how to use Excel and realize that I really only knew the basics. Don't forget the soft skills side of this, being able to make something quickly that does what you, or someone else, needs it to do. Yes, there are times where you need to flex a VBA and deep Excel skill, but honestly most of the time, you just need to manipulate some data in some reasonably straightforward way, and present it in a readable fashion. There is so much value in that. 8 ball and 9 ball. I had a table at home and would practice while watching TV. No one could beat me. In college I'd play a $1 a ball. Everyone owed me money. Then I played someone that regularly entered tournaments. I was lucky if I got to shoot because he was running the table every game. Friends of mine had a pool table in their apartment and thought they were pretty good. They were out at a bar with tables and there was an older guy playing alone, but only using one arm to shoot. They asked him why and he said, "It's too easy with both arms," and they watched him run the table twice without missing a shot. I've come to the realization that I'm very mediocre at a lot of things. I can do most anything, just not well. Versatility is useful though, and everything seems to level up at similar rates. Stick with lots of stuff and you can be pretty good, not great at everything. Playing guitar. I'm good enough to impress normal people, but I could never reach the level of a professional musician. Bedroom musicians unite. Driving. Everyone thinks they're a good driver. Sit along with a professional driver as they go through a course, and then try to do the same? So humbling. My dad likes gardening and loves his plumeria. He has about 30. He recently found a local plumeria club on Facebook and went to a meetup. He was the only one there with less than 100. My mother has stopped complaining about him having too many plumeria. All the gardeners were flexing that day. I was actually a really good wrestler in high school. I went to state as a freshman, got 4th as a sophomore, 2nd as a junior, and then won state my senior year. During the summer before my senior year my team went to a wrestling camp. My coach knew the coach of another team in another state and we went there to practice with them for a week. I was the best wrestler on my team and I beat everyone on their team also. The 3rd day of camp some guy came in to wrestle with us. I didn't know who he was but we were about the same size so I challenged him. This guy proceeded to frick me up for the next hour. I didn't score a single point on him and he did whatever the frick he wanted to me. I was completely helpless. Come to find out he was a 2-time Division II national champion in college and a 3-time All-American. I learned that there are levels to that crap and I got a massive dose of humility. In my late 20s I had never lost a single game of Scrabble in my life. I have a pretty large vocabulary and a talent for pattern matching, so I was always able to come up with very long words and find high bonuses to place them on. The true Scrabble players are already laughing at me. Well, I was looking for something to do with my time and decided to try the local Scrabble club. I'll cut to the chase. I didn't win a single game. I didn't even present a challenge to a single player there. Several of them got annoyed at having to match up with someone as bad at Scrabble as me. I left that night deeply humiliated, but amazed. I never went back. What I learned that night is that championship Scrabble players do not bother hunting for 150-point mega score words. No, they kick your butt by placing 3 tiles that cross-connect to form 5 different words, 3 of which are 2-letter words, and all of which somehow share the same triple word score tile even though only 2 words can possibly use it. And they score like 226 points by laying down those 3 tiles. It's incredible. It's as much art as science. So I learned a lot about humility from that one. Scrabble isn't a word game. It's an area control game that happens to use letters as troops. I thought I was pretty good at Tetris. People who saw me play were quite impressed. Then I started playing Tetris 99. Turns out I'm not that good. Holy same, I played on a computer website and got a high score of 3 million, then looked up the high score on the website. It was like 500 million. Still pretty good at Tetris, not pro level though. Ping-Pong. I made the mistake of playing an old guy that hangs out at one of the bars and he freaking wrecked me. It wasn't even close. He returned all of my best serves effortlessly and would put the craziest spin on all of his shots. He gave me good advice afterwards and told me I play too fast for my own good. I bought him a drink and shamefully went back to my friends. When I studied in China the first time I had a host family, my host mom would decimate me while smoking a cigarette and chatting to her friends. Fighting. I won a crap ton of amateur MMA bouts and a few professional, but then I met someone who beat the fricking brakes off of me for like 3 rounds and then choked my butt out. Turns out, I am pretty okay at it, but I am no world champion lol. Drawing and painting. One of the things they don't discuss in art school are the near constant beatings your confidence takes, most of them self-inflicted. I used to teach high school art, and those kids were amazing. They should have been teaching me. Props to you for being able to admit that students can be better. I've heard stories of teachers doing all they can to crush talent just because they're jealous. As a 23-year-old birder, it's humbling to be beside a retired 70-plus-year-old who can see birds where none seem to be and identify them. The human ability for subconscious pattern recognition is truly amazing. You'll get there. It just takes time. Skiing. Thought I was the quickest of the quick, craving perfect parallel lines, living my life on the edge. Nope. Ski team was by me when I thought I was going fast. Turns out, I'm just a buffoon on 2 planks now plowing around ungracefully. In 2015 for spring break took my daughter to Sugarloaf in Maine. US National Ski Championships were held that week. We were on the slopes with members of US National Ski Team. A typical recreational skier may go 20 miles per hour on a steep slope. Racers warming up for events would pass you going 60 miles per hour on those slopes. Amazing to watch, and humbling too. Guitar Hero. I never met anyone who could beat me. Then I saw a dude on YouTube 100% bark at the moon with his back to the screen and I'm done. I build cars as a hobby, and when I mean build cars, I modify cosmetically and mechanically for all forms of racing for myself and with my husband. My grandfather taught me everything I know about cars from when I was a child, and getting dirty and oily hands from helping him growing up. I love all types, but my main focus are building drift builds. I taught myself how to drift, how to control my car by making it lose control, while I still contained control of its power when it broke traction. I practiced on the many drift tracks that are near me. I was able to maintain it and keep it going around sharp and long corners without spinning out or stalling, until I watched my grandfather be let loose in his 65 fastback Mustang that he built from junk to prize. He literally went Ken block on all of the corners, almost never straightening out. I've never felt so much discouragement and enlightenment in myself more than that moment. He has a bad back now, but man do I miss him acting like a 20-year-old again, working on the cars he loves and doing everything he did while driving them. I played in a piano competition at age 16. Back then, I fancied myself a pretty good pianist, and there was this teenage girl who went on stage, sat down in front of the piano, and calmly blew all of us other contestants away with ease. She played Maurice Ravel's Duke's Dio, and she was absolutely captivating. Within about 30 seconds, I think we all knew she was going to win first prize. After a few minutes, I felt the judges ought to end the contest right then and there and just give her the trophy. Even now, over a decade later, I'm still in awe of her. She did it with so much grace, dignity and style. I only wish I knew her name. I think I'm a pretty solid writer. Every now and then I read a novel that just makes me think, well, I love you, but also frick you a little bit. Tennis, the sport I grew up playing. I beat the majority of my colleagues frequently and even won a few tournaments. My coaches intentionally lowered their level when they played against me so that I wouldn't be thrashed. Not a whole lot to be learned from that, and I thought they were giving their best and I was able to pull off some close scorelines. I'd watch the guys on TV and think that most of it wasn't really that impressive. Thought the sport was pretty slow, and the pros don't do a lot of flashy stuff, as they want to win. So I thought I'd reach their level in the near future, until the pros came to my country to play a tournament, and I went straight away to see Roger Federer practice in person. I was blown away so hard and my ego was so crushed that I wasn't able to speak for a few days. Never again was I arrogant about anything anymore. I thought I was exceptionally smart because I was a talented and gifted program in school. I was a great test taker. I got good grades and breezed through getting my bachelor's degree. School was always pretty easy for me. Then I went to law school. Everyone was older than me, had actual life experience, and they were realty freaking smart. People would ask such thought-provoking questions. I couldn't believe we had read the same thing. I realized graduating high school and getting a bachelor's in political science at a state school wasn't genius level stuff, and I had developed absolutely zero study skills over the prior 21 years. My first year in law school hit me like a ton of bricks, but it all worked out. I didn't do law school but had a similar awakening. Thought I was really smart, hit the real world and realized how much I didn't understand and that I was just inexperienced but that there were lots of people just straight up smarter than me. Programming. Learned a lot in college and at my first job. I switched based on my skills. Came to new company, met my senior who is incredibly talented and realized I have a long way to go. Math. I'm a theoretical physicist, and I always felt I was pretty good at math in undergrad. Then I met the professor I'm working for right now. One of my life goals is to become at least 3/4 as good at theoretical physics as he is. Then I met Ed Witten. Then I read some papers by Freeman Dyson. Dang. It's so crazy how high the math ceiling goes. You prove an elegant solution, then find a paper that does that plus uses that to prove 80 different things all in notation that is as foreign to me as Russian. Math is fun. I learned to solve a Rubik's Cube and practiced until I could solve one in like 30 seconds. Then I saw a video of the world record at the time, which was like 4.9 seconds. That was pretty depressing for me. Hey, you're very likely still in the top 0.1% of people, if not better. Video games. Every time I find a game I feel like I'm really good at, I always find a close friend that's x100 better than me in that game. I had a friend who was insanely good at GoldenEye 007 on N64. He and I went to visit friends in college back when that game was popular and a kid down the hall said he hadn't lost in multiplayer. Fast forward to a bit later. He has his head in his hands and my friend is just grinning. They played a match to 20. The score was 20-0. I thought I was hot crap in middle school, typing 60 WPM, until I got to high school. I swear some of those kids would reach upwards of 150 WPM. It made me feel real small time. Likewise, I am a solid 90-100 WPM. Apparently that's not very impressive anymore. Avoiding work. I thought I was good at it. Then I had kids. They are a whole nother level of work avoidance. This happens to literally everyone who plays guitar. Townsend and Clapton wanted to kill themselves after seeing Hendrix. I've been playing for 10 years and some people on YouTube make me feel like my guitar is broken. I am a better whistler than maybe 98% of the population, but compared to a world-class whistler I sound like a corpse fart. Corpse Fart is my new band name, I got dibs. Singing. I used to sing in the car and thought I was great till I heard my friend who took voice lessons sing. I still sing in the car though. I have a friend who is a semi-professional singer and you can really tell when he turns it on. He'll dong around singing with the radio or something, but when karaoke night rolled around he'd put on his real voice and kill it. When I was in 5th grade, I didn't really have any friends, was bullied, picked last for sports, etc. At recess and at home. I started running because I wanted to be good at it. It went on for a few months and I had convinced my little 10-year-old mind that I was a superb runner and super fast. One day in PE, they basically had us race each other. I got put up against these two popular girls that were best friends and I just knew that this was my moment and all my work was going to pay off and people will like me. They smoked me. I had a similar dream. I beat the school run time because of it. Except then 2 periods later one of the popular girls ran it and beat my time. I held the record for all of 2 hours. Screw you, Ollie. You were actually a very nice person, so not really but still kinda a little bit. Disc golf. Thought I was hot crap till I went to the world championship. Languages. I'm so proud at being bilingual and then there goes the Pope with like 9 languages. I didn't particularly think I was really good at it, but I thought I was decent at drawing quirky little cartoon versions of people, and I had fun doing it. That is until I got threatened to be banned from Reddit Gets Drawn. That was a real punch to the gut. Playing piano. There's so much competition and there's always an Asian kid 93,832x better than you. I practice every day and have been playing for 10 years and I was at Asian kid, both piano and violin. Don't worry, even we have our own the other Asian kid that's even better. Smash Bros. It seems like a casual Nintendo game at first, but it has a really high skill ceiling. You can be the best in your school and you can always manage to four-stock everyone. But if you play against someone that played it on a competitive level, you notice how little you actually know about the game, even after playing it for 5,000 hours. Now he will try. When I was in kindergarten I used to think I was the second fastest person in the world, my older brother being the fastest. That was until I got in a race with somebody in my class, and not only did he destroy me, his clothes were flapping in the wind. That visual really stuck with me and convinced me I wasn't. I thought I was really good at cup stacking. I could put up and take down a tower in 30 seconds. Well, then I decided to look at videos of other people cup stacking. What people do with cup stacking is incredible. Anyway, I no longer consider myself good at cup stacking. Excel. I could create some charts and pivots that looked good, or so I thought until I saw everything the Rain Man of Excel and VB could do in our office. I love drawing and am the art kid in my school. I found out one of my classmates likes drawing too, so I checked out her drawings. They were so good I was jealous. Later she found my art Instagram and her reaction was, "Why are you even posting? You know I'm better than you." Almost crushed me, but I ignored her. Now I've been drawing for 3 years and doing quite a lot of progress. You have been visited by the Wealth Rat. Subscribe in 12 seconds and he will share his wealth with you. Thanks for watching. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day, you magnificent people.